All right, so you want to become a Border Patrol agent, and I'd like for you to explain your first point as to why you would like to become one.
Well, the biggest part is because it's a stable government job and it gives me really good health and retirement benefit.
Okay, well, I personally think that you shouldn't become a Border Patrol agent because you may risk becoming physically and emotionally injured. And my first point against this is that you may be put into a situation where you will die or you may have to kill someone. So it's dangerous. And the first point of evidence I have to support that is when Francisco in the book gets a call from his mother who is trying to reach him after she heard of a Border Patrol agent who was killed with the same last name as him. And the way that the agent died was in a firefight after trying to pursue a group of bandits near the border. And the thing is that those agents probably didn't know that those migrants were armed and dangerous. And then the second piece of evidence that I have against that is while Francisco was still at the academy, his instructor told him and his whole class that while he was first deployed into the field, that he took someone else's life and that he almost had his life taken. And that just gives sort of an insight into the dangers associated with being a Border Patrol agent, and that those dangers are apparent for even new agents. And so what's another reason why you'd like to be a Border Patrol agent?
Well, the Border Patrols are doing the things they're doing right now already with me or without me. So with me joining the Border Patrol, I can be like a good influence and be someone who's nice to the immigrants, at least to make their deportation process easier for them.
Well, the second point I have to counter that is, despite the fact that you may have good intentions, because you're employed and because you have to follow rules, you may be put into a situation where you have to make a morally or ethically questionable decision that could negatively impact your emotional well-being. And a point I have to support this, or a piece of evidence that I have to support this is, on top of the moral implications of deporting people as a Border Patrol agent, people of Hispanic descent face like a really great challenge, and that is when they have to deport people of their own race. And that may not be something that you have to encounter, but it's still something that weighs heavily on their conscience. And an example of this from the book is when Francisco is trying to discuss with his mom why he wants to become a Border Patrol agent, and and his reasoning behind it was that he wanted to get to know the border area better. And his mom counters that by saying when she was married that she chose to keep her last name and give it to him so that he wouldn't forget his Hispanic descendants, and so that he never forget his heritage. And she feels that if Francisco were to become a Border Patrol agent, he would distance himself greatly from his own culture. And his grandparents immigrated from Mexico to the United States, and as a Border Patrol agent, he would be preventing people from doing that. And although the people he's preventing from migrating are doing it illegally, both those migrants who are doing it legally and both those who did it legally, like his grandparents, were just simply trying to find better lives. Another piece of evidence of like the emotional toll that this takes on people is Francisco, when he details his nightmares and visions of migrants staggering through the desert, and men from places that he's known lost and wandering around the desert without food or water and dying, just looking for some way out of the horrible conditions of the countries that they're coming from. And further, there's another example when Francisco was talking with his uncle, and he says that his uncle asks him how he likes his job, and Francisco struggles with how to answer, and he wants to answer honestly and tell him that he's reached a point where he could barely sleep, and a point where he could barely just think about anything without the thought of violence in his head, and that he barely perceived the beauty in the landscape around him. And instead of telling him how he really feels, he lies to his uncle and tells him that he's happy what he is doing. And that struggle that he had with telling him the truth just goes to show you how troubling his job is to him. So that's why I believe you should become a Border Patrol agent.
Cool, thank you.